This is the Fan Connection podcast where we talk all things sports entertainment. We're your hosts. I'm Royce Michaels.
And I'm Devin Steele.
Let's get right into it.
Okay, so we're going to start off the podcast. We're going to briefly talk about the June 10th Monday Night Raw. And so Drew accepts a match challenge from Finn Balor. If he wins, the Judgment Day will be barred from ringside at Clash. We're predicting CM Punk interference at Clash anyway.
Yeah.
And then, Judgment Day was all over Raw. It was a cool segment with the Liv Morgan hotel key card and stuff.
And I called Finn Balor was going to end up with it. I thought that little segment was funny. They had like 4 or 5 segments on Raw, but they just used a lot of time with them, and I thought it was good.
I think moving on, we're going to talk about Io Sky and Lyra Valkyria. I just don't understand why these other teams are not interested in the tag titles.
Right, like Damage Control and all of them, they're not as hungry as all these other teams are for the tag titles, and they're just as established as everybody else.
And Lyra is talented. I think she could have some moments in the future. But Carter and Chance and Damage Control need to get focused on gold.
Right.
It's like, I don't really care what's going on right here. Ray, Dragon Lee, Braun versus Dom, JD, and Carlito. Cool match. I like the way Braun was used in this match. I like the successful freight train. He ran over like 3 people. The spot at the end was cool.
Also, the first match for Dominic and Rey Mysterio, father versus son, since WrestleMania.
And Dom's back from his injury. He's not wearing a sling anymore. So, I guess we're going to see where Judgment Day and the LWO go from there.
And Finn Balor and Liv Morgan end up.
Yeah. So, and then the next match is Sami Zayn versus Otis. It's just more of the same, moving into Clash. Otis was doing well when he was listening. He stopped listening, he lost. Alpha Academy's got to get it together. They're not serious about winning.
Trying to break the ice for Clash at the Castle more and less.
Yeah, and so they're just kind of making sure everybody knows what's going on and reaffirming everything, and nothing wrong with that. Tag match, Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark versus Alba Fire and Isla Dawn.
They're getting TV time, so it's all right.
Yeah,
you know?
good for them. Their attires actually match this match.
Right. Going into Clash at the Castle too, so like they needed the TV time.
I really don't believe either of them could beat Bianca Belair or Jade Cargill. So good for them, bro. But I guess we'll see what happens.
Right, we'll see what happens later on.
So Braun Breaker versus Ilya Dragunov, and we'll take a second. We'll actually discuss this because this was kind of important. I really like Ilya Dragunov. So it's just,
and it was a good match. It truly entertained me. I thought it was the best match on Raw, actually.
And Braun Breaker's spear on the outside was nasty, straight forehead to sternum. And Ilya Dragunov selling made it even better.
Right. And then after that little thing, Ilya lost, he speared him again. Ricochet helped him back. He speared him, threw him over the thing. And then him and Ricochet had like an actual like backstage brawl like the old games used to do back in the day, And I thought that was pretty cool too. And then, Ricochet got put through a table or a car.
Yeah, notably there was that botch where Ricochet's leg got caught and he slammed down on the back of his head.
Yeah, I caught that too.
But pretty good segment, and I think that's it for Ricochet, unless we're going to get Prince Puma.
And Braun Breaker's slowly winning us over as we go.
I like Braun Breaker now.
As the weeks go on, he's slowly coming back.
And so, the only thing I've got to say about that is be careful if you mess with Braun Breaker.
Or you might end up just like Ricochet.
AOP versus Awesome Truth. What did the AOP do to deserve a title shot? It's fine. Okay, I guess. The New Day is going to interfere and cost them the match. Okay.
what does them losing to the Awesome Truth do for them as a group anyway? You know,
Nothing. They're a bunch of losers anyway.
like it just makes all these big meaty guys look horrible and stale.
Awesome Truth is getting stale anyway.
Right.
So, moving on, Drew versus Balor in the main event. Drew practically wipes the Judgment Day and wins the match. Judgment Day is barred from ringside. And that is pretty huge for Clash. I guess we're going to see where that takes us.
That evens the odds for Drew, you know, like clears the playing field for him.
And we'll see if Damian Priest is really about it. But we're going to move on to SmackDown, June 14th. Naomi versus Chelsea. Cool, I guess.
Yeah,
it's just TV time for Piper and for Bayley. And, Chelsea Green and Naomi, it's fine. It's TV. It's time for SmackDown.
Yeah, plus they're already in Scotland for SmackDown anyway, so they give Piper Niven her pop, you know.
Yeah, and the crowd is pretty good in Scotland.
Right. And, dude, there's so many people. Like, they were sold out, you know, on SmackDown.
Okay, and then so, moving on, the Grayson Waller effect.
Yeah, DIY is trying to break up A-Town Down Under for sure. They showed Theory the footage of Waller using him as a human shield. And I called this a couple podcasts ago, you know, because I was saying that Grayson Waller and the Austin Theory match may be better than any of their tag team matches they've had. Because I do truly believe that they may be next.
And I think that'll be really interesting when that time comes. But DIY is definitely the next SmackDown tag team champs.
And Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa both cut pretty decent promos. Like in the past, we've talked about together that like they weren't really good on the mic, but now they've worked on it. You know, they've came back and they're making me interested in them now.
And it's crazy to me that there's no tag team title match at Clash at the Castle for the SmackDown tag team titles.
Right, as much as they were building that too. That's crazy. I guess they're building it for SummerSlam maybe.
But we're going to move on to Santos Escobar versus Apollo Crews.
Wow, Apollo, you a baby Bobby Lashley, buddy.
It's like, okay, I guess. Legado del Fantasma, that's fine.
Like, they're literally just trying to push Legado del Fantasma to be the SmackDown version of LWO. That's it. Literally, that's it to me. And I don't like it. One of them needs to be more aggressive, I think.
And Apollo Crews has been repackaged twice already. He just can't get over. He can't stay healthy to get in the ring to get over.
And he's super established in NXT, so maybe that's just where he needs to stay, you know? Because like every time he goes back there, he ends up winning a title, man.
That whole match was based. He wanted revenge because they attacked him before the match he had with Andrade.
Right.
And it's like, okay, dude, who cares though? Did anybody remember that?
The segment they had backstage was only like 4 seconds long, so a lot of people missed it.
The crowd was loud during that segment, though, and they did not like Legado very much at all. After that, there was an AJ and Cody segment, and that's a little important to talk about because they practically name-dropped every other business for wrestling. Besides AEW, they referenced AEW. They made you think about AEW, but they didn't say AEW. Good promos, got me excited for Clash. Mark Henry was referenced.
Yeah, they finally gave Mark Henry his flowers on the fake retirement references. And that was funny.
But I'm excited for Clash, the I Quit match, and and like I said, we're gonna see what happens.
And that match has to be the main event, right?
Oh, you would think so. Anyway, Nia Jax versus Mitchum. Who cares?
Nia Jax, Queen of the Ring, is going to shit.
They're beefing Nia Jax up to be fed to Bayley at SummerSlam, and I don't really care about Bayley's title run.
Exactly.
And I don't care about Nia Jax as Queen of the Ring, so I'm concerned for SummerSlam.
Nia Jax wrestles really slow to me, and I feel like she has a lot of work that she needs to do. And we've already talked about how at the pay-per-view she doesn't wrestle to her full potential anyway.
Tiffany Stratton was on commentary during that segment. And I like Tiffany Stratton.
Right.
I Tiffy Time, center of the universe. I like Tiffany Stratton. And I think I'm calling my shot right here. Tiffany Stratton misses Money in the Bank this year.
That's a good prediction. I can see it happening. I don't have any shade on that. I think it's either going to be her or maybe Io Sky again. That'd be crazy if they, let her win 2 times in a row.
And so LA Knight and Logan Paul had a segment after that.
Before you say what I know you're going to say, the segment to me was entertaining. LA Knight needed to maybe like actually brought some more SmackDown to Logan Paul. But I think it was a really funny segment because they didn't have a match at Clash of the Castle, so they want to get all these fans excited for it,
Yeah, well, my only gripe is he didn't bring any SmackDown.
Right.
He just sat in the pool and did nothing.
He brought the sit down.
Yeah. And then they didn't even have a match at Clash of the Castle. And Logan Paul sucks at Tetris, by the way. Lost.
Yeah, he lost. No new Tetris champ. So I guess we'll get that match at SummerSlam.
And I think LA Knight might go over.
Maybe me too, man. I think LA Knight might be getting his chance to hold a title in WWE.
Main event of the night: Solo versus Kevin Owens.
You know how that's gonna go. Bloodline runs everything.
Solo said if he loses, he's coming for Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman about shits himself.
Randy Orton's back.
Randy Orton saves the day. He pulled a fucking John Cena.
I noticed that KO is adopting Stone Cold Steve Austin's merch.
Yeah, he took the Stone Cold Stunner. Okay.
Like he's wearing 316 all the time.
Yeah, every country they go to, he just wears that country 316 and then a blue skull on the back, and I'm like, okay, buddy, how to be original. But I love Kevin Owens, so I can't complain. But
yeah, me too.
He could think outside the box a little bit.
And I'm getting a little sick of the Kevin Owens and Randy Orton versus the Bloodline. It's kind of getting stale. It's been going on since WrestleMania.
Yeah, and especially now that we know that
before WrestleMania.
It probably won't be like we were talking about earlier in the podcast either about the Randy Orton and Cody Rhodes match at SummerSlam. That probably won't happen either.
But now we're going to talk about Clash of the Castle.
This happened this morning, actually.
Yeah, this is fresh on our minds. We just watched this hours ago.
And it surprised us because they actually started with the I Quit match. The Cody Rhodes and AJ Styles match was the one that kicked it off.
I did not expect that to be the first match.
And it was very entertaining. They like, the typical I Quit match, it starts out a little slow, like they finally get back in the ring and each one of them pulls out the equipment they're going to use. And I thought it was cool that AJ Styles used handcuffs because going back to the TNA days, that's like what he mainly used back in Aces and Eights and shit, like it was pretty cool that he used that.
And it was a pretty physical match. I think that was AJ Styles' best shot at ever winning the undisputed WWE Championship from Cody Rhodes. He won't get another opportunity, I don't think.
I think that match was a little bit better than the match they had at the last PLE too.
And the crowd was crazy.
Oh yeah, the way they sing Cody Rhodes' name, man, like that was insane. I know that gave that man chills.
This I Quit match was like it was borderline PG. Like they were cussing.
Yeah,
there was blood.
The crowd was literally chanting "Fuck you, AJ Styles," and it wasn't cutting it out.
Yeah, I mean, so I like that they're walking that line again.
There was blood,
And I really love the decibel meter that they put on.
That
TV.
was cool. They used to do that in the games. Remember back in the day?
I really like that. Like they tell you how loud the arena is. AJ Styles didn't back down from Mama Rhodes though.
No.
He squared up to her.
And then at the end, Cody Rhodes finally pulled out all the cards and made AJ Styles say, "I quit." That man was literally about to kill him, though. Did you see the way he about threw them steps at his head?
The ending was a little strange to me. I felt like
it's giving me like he's about to turn heel vibes.
And also during the match, AJ put Cody in an STF and he passed out. And so I feel like there was an I Quit match before that ended with Stone Cold Steve Austin passing out, and he lost the match, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
So why didn't Cody Rhodes lose the match?
Because usually it's the thing where they pick your arm up and it drops 3 times, and it's like the same thing. But the refs and everybody were like, "Oh, you have to say I quit." So like the fact that he didn't literally utter the words out, I guess now they done changed the rules. You have to actually say it.
Either way, in the end, it took a Cody cutter and 3 crossroads with 1 on the chair.
Yep.
Multiple chair strikes, and then the threat of bashing your head in with the steel steps to make AJ Styles quit.
Yeah. I give him a phenomenal grade match of a B plus on that one because he did good.
I gave the match a B as well. I gave the attire a B as well. AJ Styles was just a palette swap. The yellow's cool.
Right, right. I always like the kick pads.
I don't think the gray pants suited Cody Rhodes. He needs to stick with the blue.
Yeah, same. That's why I gave them both a B plus.
And AJ Styles also went for that phenomenal forearm with the chain on his arm.
Yeah.
Got hit with the chair and
Yeah.
fell through the table, and that was a really cool spot in the match.
But I just want to say though, like AJ Styles almost did mess it up because we talked about earlier. He like had tying the chain around his arm and it was like loose. It was like falling off. But then he finally got it, and then like he sold the spot so good. It was a good little bump he took.
And so the second match of the night is the women's triple threats for the tag team titles. And who could have guessed that the Unholy Union was going to win? That's the only person that was from Glasgow that actually won gold in Glasgow. Everybody else was unsuccessful.
I was truly shocked that Fire and Dawn won. But the match itself to me was a little stale because I don't know about, I still don't know about Belair and Cargill as a tag team. And Baszler and Stark, like they're always in tag team matches, man. Like they're just kind of there to me.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to win either. And I don't really know who they are. They definitely tried hard.
But
and they worked hard. And I guess we'll see what the new champs are about, even if they do feel like Dollar Store Becky Lynch. I guess we'll see, what they're about. I have a feeling the women's tag division is about to play hot potatoes with the titles.
And for that reason right there, I gave that match a grade of a C plus and an attire of a D because it just.
I give them the same exact score because none of the attires matched. I just didn't think any of them stood out. They didn't look cool.
On the attire thing, though, I just read before we started the podcast. Apparently, Jade Cargill had left her attire somewhere, in the States, and she had to find an attire apparently. So that's why hers looked different.
I believe it.
But still, as a superstar, you got to make sure you have everything you're supposed to have. If you're in that position,
Yeah.
So
shit happens though.
But moving on to the next match, we have Sami Zayn versus Chad Gable, and me and you both are pissed about this one because Gable should have won this.
Yeah, this was Gable's time. This feud is not resolved whatsoever, and now they're saying Gable's not going to get another shot. Well, what's he going to do then?
Yeah, see, that's what I was also thinking. It's got to be Gable's turn because, what else can you do with Chad Gable now besides break up the Alpha Academy,
and if the Alpha Academy would just do what Chad Gable says, he would have won.
Well, technically, there can't be no more Alpha Academy. They walked out.
Otis walked out on him. He squared up and walked out.
So I guess we're gonna see either Otis, Chad Gable, and Sami Zayn at SummerSlam, or I don't know what's gonna happen, man.
This match was very slow paced. It was kind of drawn out. It was intense when it needed to be, but for the most part, it was very slow.
And the parts where it was fast, I'm pretty 9 out of 10. It was Gable working Sami. He was out wrestling him.
And I didn't know why Chad Gable was working Sami Zayn's arms when he's meant to be trying to go for the ankle lock.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
And then that makes me feel like Kurt Angle used to make people tap out all the time with the ankle lock.
He made Stone Cold Steve Austin tap. He made Brock Lesnar tap.
I'm not sure Chad Gable has made anybody tap out with his ankle lock. So I don't really think that's a legitimate threat. Sami got lucky though, in my opinion, because where was Tozawa?
Yeah, where was he at? That he's already shunned because he didn't even come out to help.
Yeah, and if the Alpha Academy would have just listened, I think things would have been different. I hope Chad Gable gets another shot. I hope Chad Gable can become a champion of some kind and get his flowers and get his moment.
Me too, man. I think this is going to be the start of something we're about to see him go absolutely crazy in the WWE.
He needs to drop the dead weight. He's got to get rid of these uncoachable students.
And I think that's what we're in the midst of because they walked out on him. They got to be building something like that.
In the end, I couldn't believe Sami went over. So I'm going to give this match a B as well. And I'm going to give the attire a B. And that's not for Sami Zayn because I felt like he was just wearing regular attire.
Right.
Chad Gable had like a red singlet on. That was pretty cool. Maxine Dupree looked beautiful on ringside. And Otis was just wearing an Alpha Academy t-shirt.
Yeah, I give the match a B plus grade, and then the attire was an A minus to me because like Sami Zayn just looked like Sami Zayn to me, and I figured Chad Gable, I don't know, his looked a little cool to me because it was a little different than what he was wearing on Raw, so I liked it.
Yeah, but again, the crowd was so loud for this match.
Yeah, they were hyped, dude. They turned it up in there for that one.
I just wish there was more of a conclusion because it's like, what is Chad Gable going to do now?
Yeah.
So let's talk about the Piper Niven versus Bayley match.
And this is the match that we thought was going to open up, and they were right before the main event.
And honestly, bro, Niven can work. She earned my respect a little bit. Like she was like doing some cool stuff, like stuff I didn't know she could do.
We knew Piper wasn't winning. We've talked about that, but
we knew she wasn't going over.
And plus, she's a little slower than Bayley's pace of wrestling too. That doesn't help a lot of things. But she's talented and she worked for her crowd. Like her hometown crowd, she did pretty decent.
And I thought that her attire was really cool in this match. She looked like cool. Like she looked like she was in a championship match.
Yeah. I didn't like Bayley's attire though, because I feel like she was trying to do it like what she's doing now, mixed with the old Bayley, how she used to do the thing, with the hugging and everything.
Yeah, and I never liked that.
I didn't either.
I don't really care a whole lot about this Bayley.
So I felt like that's what she was doing. So the attire I gave him a C plus, and the match I gave him a C.
But yeah, Niven can work. She surprised me, and Chelsea Green was out there.
Yeah.
She didn't really influence the match that much. She cheated a little bit.
She came back out with a Rey Mysterio mask on.
Yeah, she had the Lucha mask on.
Nah. I was weak.
And she looked beautiful too, man. She was wearing like the little French hat and stuff. And so, yeah, I don't really care about Bayley retaining the championship.
Yeah, now we just know it's going to be Bayley versus Nia at SummerSlam.
And like I said, I have concerns about that match. It's like I don't really think it's that big. But
one of them may actually get hurt. I don't want to call that. I don't want to predict that, but it may actually happen because they're two different paces.
And
but
I'm not sure who would take the place going into that match. Then
I have no idea either, man. And that leads us into our main event of the evening. We had Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in his hometown of Scotland. And all I got to say about this is like, it was a pretty decent match and all, but like Gunther's finna be the new World Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, in the end, Gunther is being set up to be a dominant World Heavyweight Champion.
And I actually feel like once Damian loses that title to Gunther's gonna hold that title longer than Roman Reigns held his.
He'll lose it until either Money in the Bank cashes in on him, or he'll hold it until WrestleMania.
Oh shit, that'd be good. Jey Uso cash in on Gunther because he couldn't beat him for the IC title. That'd be good.
That would be cool.
I could see that. But back to the match, Priest. To my knowledge, when I was watching, he botched a lot, man.
And most notably, when he went to jump over the ropes and got his foot caught, I thought he hurt himself.
I did too.
I was surprised he was able to finish the match because that looked devastating. Like that looked like it pulled his leg hard. And
the way the match finished in that, it was not. I didn't expect it to end the way it did. I wanted it to be more of a, like I know the Judgment Day wasn't allowed to be out there, but like when CM Punk came out, like that was the perfect angle of that. But like I figured, somebody would, Liv Morgan or somebody was still going to come out, but that didn't happen. All we needed, though, was the CM Punk thing.
I had a feeling CM Punk would be there, bro. And I believe I said that before on a previous episode.
Yeah, I think you predicted it before I did.
And it's cool to see Drew McIntyre getting a lot of love, though. Like, the crowd was all over him. Like, he was obviously, like, overwhelmed. He was having, like, a good time.
And I'm not going to lie, going into the pre-show and everything, they had me thinking Drew McIntyre was going to win.
I was a little unsure of who was walking away with the gold. I did kind of talk about the leak I had heard about, and kind of how we felt about how Drew McIntyre would win the match and
Right.
stuff. And so, I mean, we've talked about it. And this match was cool and all, but there's a lot of finisher spam to me.
Yeah, Damian Priest seemed like he was trying to hit his finisher like every second he could.
Yeah,
You know,
I feel like they were improvising heavily because Damian Priest was botching.
right?
And I just want to say this as well before we move on. Drew McIntyre needs a new pay-per-view entrance. The bagpipes is getting old.
Yeah, he needs to bring back Broken Dreams. That's all I want to say about his shit.
Every time he has a big pay-per-view match, it's always the bagpipe entrance. It's like, it's just kind of boring, bro. It's like, I know there's not that much more you can do with Scotland, but it's like, I think we could get a little bit more creative at least.
Yeah, definitely from him, the Scottish Warrior. You know, you can come out with something better than that. The grade itself in the match, I gave it a B minus, and the tire was a B as well. Because I mean, Drew McIntyre's obviously going to do some Scottish stuff. You know,
I just went for a C for the attire because Damian Priest didn't wear anything special, and Drew McIntyre had regular attire except for his entrance attire. It just had like some red streaks on it, and I think it had some writing on there.
and Damian Priest's entrance was a little cool because he came up, you know, like with the smoke around him.
I really like at the beginning where it says "All Rise."
Yeah, it's pretty good, man. I liked his entrance, but we both know, man, Gunther's fitting to beat him at
And so I
SummerSlam.
guess the roles are swapping in the CM Punk and Drew McIntyre feud. So is Drew McIntyre going to be the face now and CM Punk's the heel?
I guess that's the only way they'd be able to do it. No, because they kind of playing Punk to be the babyface, to be honest. So like in that, I ain't even gonna lie. I want to go back to the Cody Rhodes thing because after AJ Styles had said I quit, he hit him with the steps, right? Still after that.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes still hit AJ Styles. He did some heel stuff.
Okay, so like it's starting to look like we might get heel Cody Rhodes. So if that happens, then like like I said, we've already got too many.
It's crazy if they turn Cody Rhodes heel because he's making so much money right now
Right.
as a face.
Right.
But in the end, bro, Priest couldn't get it done alone, and that's only every time he wrestles. It seems like.
And I just want to say, CM Punk is literally making Damian Priest's title run.
He's the only reason why Damian Priest is still the champion.
So could we see just because Drew McIntyre hates the Judgment Day, CM Punk's about to join the Judgment Day?
That would be crazy.
I would love that. I'd be weak.
I wonder. That would be crazy. Like, I wonder how he would fit in. They put Carlito in, bro.
Right.
There's got to be room for CM Punk somewhere.
Going into other sports entertainment news, we're going to talk about on NXT. Cody Rhodes had told Trick Williams that they were going to have a 25-man battle royal, and that the possibility of him facing somebody could be anybody from different locker rooms.
I mean, that's just them breaking down the forbidden door a little bit more, name dropping these companies. I'm ready for Joe Henry or Nick Nemeth or MJF. Somebody with a little bit more pull than Jordan Grace. I'm sorry, I'm not a big Jordan Grace fan.
Okay, so when Cody Rhodes did make the announcement to Trick Williams, I just want to point out that if anybody out there was watching, in the background there's a big white sign that says "I believe in Joe Hendry" in the crowd. Why ain't nobody else got a Joe Hendry sign? Why wasn't the only one there? I feel like that was planted there, and we're finna get Joe Hendry in NXT.
Well, I believe in Joe Henry.
Clap, clap. I think I do too.
So now we're going to move into SummerSlam, and it's looking like Damian versus Gunther, Nia versus Bayley.
Right.
And we're not sure whether or not Money in the Bank's happening at SummerSlam anymore.
Everybody keeps declaring, like, also on, I don't know if we talked about it earlier, but Carmelo Hayes also declared he'd be in the Money in the Bank too as well, which nobody really cared. Like, he got booed out of the stadium,
he's
man.
Not winning the Money in the Bank.
Like, they're gonna purposely hurt him.
That makes me laugh.
He's not worth it. He's not him.
But as far as the sports entertainment events of today go, I think we've covered it. Clash at the Castle was a good pay-per-view.
I give it a whole as a whole pay per view. I graded it A minus. What do you think?
I'd give it a solid, just regular old B.
There you go.
Nothing terrible, nothing super caught my eye, nothing crazy outstanding, but a good time, a good day watching wrestling.
They definitely built it pretty good.
Yeah, a good time and a good day watching wrestling.
And now we're just excited for SummerSlam. See what's up next. We'll see what happens on Raw.
But until the next episode, the Fan Connection podcast is out of here.
Peace.
All right, I think that's good.